If you have been driving for years and you think you know all the rules of the road, I need you to stop right there. Because right now, in 2026, the rules have changed. And not by a little bit. We are talking about changes that could get you fined, land you points on your license, or worse, put you in serious legal trouble. All because you did not know what was updated. This video is not optional. This is your wake-up call. Whether you have been driving for 6 months or 20 years, what you are about to hear applies to you. Stay with me until the very end, because every single change I cover could directly affect you the next time you get behind the wheel. Let us get into it. Let us start with something that most drivers are getting completely wrong right now, and that is junction priority. The Highway Code introduced the hierarchy of road users back in 2022, but in 2026, the enforcement and awareness around this rule has never been more serious. The rule is clear. When you approach a junction and you see a pedestrian waiting to cross or a cyclist waiting to go, you must stop and give way to them. Full stop. Now, here is what makes people confused. A lot of drivers still think that if they have a green light or if they had the right of way under the old rules, they can go. That is wrong. Under the updated code, the most vulnerable road user at that junction gets priority. That means the pedestrian crossing the road you are turning into, or the cyclist who is about to go straight on, they go first. You wait. If you fail to do this and an incident occurs, you are the one who will be held responsible. Courts will use the Highway Code as evidence against you. So this is not just guidance anymore. It carries serious legal weight. Cyclists also have stronger protections built into the code that are fully in effect right now. When you are overtaking a cyclist, you must leave at least 1.5 meters of space if you are traveling up to 30 miles per hour. At higher speeds, you need to give even more room. And cyclists are now allowed to ride in the center of their lane on quieter roads and when approaching junctions. That means if you pull up behind a cyclist who is not hugging the curb, they are not doing anything wrong. They are following the code. You need to be patient and wait until it is safe to overtake with proper clearance. There is also the Dutch reach, which is now a recommended technique in the Highway Code. This is where you open your car door using the hand that is furthest from the door handle. So if you are sitting in the driver's seat, you use your left hand to open the door. The reason is simple. It forces your body to turn and look over your shoulder, which means you will naturally spot any approaching cyclists before you swing the door open into their path. Dooring a cyclist is not just dangerous, it is something that can result in serious legal consequences for the person opening the door. Use the Dutch reach every single time. Now let us talk about your phone, because this one has zero grey area whatsoever. It is completely illegal to hold and use your mobile phone or any similar handheld device while you are driving. That includes making calls on speakerphone if you are holding the device. It includes checking a text. It includes scrolling. It includes looking at a notification for 2 seconds. If the device is in your hand and you are behind the wheel and the engine is running, you are breaking the law. The penalties are severe. You are looking at 6 penalty points and a £250 fine as a minimum. For new drivers who are still within their first 2 years of holding a license, 6 points means an automatic revocation. You lose your license and you have to start the whole process again from scratch. There is no tolerance on this. None. Here is another change that has caught a huge number of drivers off guard: the drink-drive limit. The legal blood alcohol limit in England and Wales has historically sat at 80 milligrams per 100 millilitres of blood. That limit is being reduced to 50 milligrams per 100 millilitres of blood. Scotland already operates at this lower threshold, and has done for some time, and now the rest of the country is aligning with it. What this means practically is that one drink, even a single pint of standard strength beer, could be enough to put you over the limit, depending on your body weight, metabolism, and when you last ate. The old rule of thumb that most drivers used to follow no longer applies. The safest and only sensible approach is zero alcohol before driving. Not one drink, not half a drink, 0. Let us move on to seat belts, because this is a change that a lot of people have brushed off, and they really should not be doing that. Not wearing a seatbelt used to be a fine-only offence. Now, failing to wear a seatbelt can result in 3 penalty points being added to your licence. 3 points, for something that takes less than 2 seconds to click in. This also applies to passengers. As the driver, you are responsible for ensuring that everyone in your vehicle is properly buckled up. If a passenger refuses to wear their belt and you are stopped by police, you are the one facing the consequences. Make sure everyone is strapped in before you even think about moving the car. Now we need to talk about headlights and fog lights, because this is another area where stricter enforcement has come in. You must not dazzle other road users with your headlights or your fog lights. This sounds obvious, but think about how many times you have been blinded by someone who has left their full beam on, even though there is oncoming traffic, or someone who has their rear fog lights blazing on a clear night just because it feels safer to them. This is now something authorities are actively targeting. Misuse of fog lights in particular, using them when visibility is not below 100 metres, is a specific offence. Check your lights. Know when to use them and when to switch them off. Engine idling is another behaviour that is getting significantly more attention in 2026. If you are sitting in your parked car with the engine running and you are not going anywhere, you may be breaking the law. Enforcement against idling is increasing, particularly in residential areas, outside schools, and in town centres. The fine varies depending on your local authority, but it is typically between £20 and £80, and in some areas it can go higher. Some councils have fixed penalty notices in place that can be issued on the spot by traffic wardens or enforcement officers. If you are waiting to pick someone up, turn the engine off. If you are sitting in a car park making a phone call, turn the engine off. It is better for the environment, it is better for the people around you, and it keeps you on the right side of the law. Let us talk about driving tests, because if you are a learner driver or you are a parent helping a learner, this affects you directly. From spring 2026, only the learner themselves is allowed to book a driving test. This sounds simple, but it is a significant shift. Up until now, driving instructors could book and manage test appointments on behalf of their students. Third-party booking services and automated bots that were snapping up test slots and reselling them have also been banned. The goal is to make the process fairer and to reduce the massive backlogs that have built up over the past few years. If you are a learner, you are now in control of your own booking. You also need to give at least 10 working days' notice if you want to cancel or reschedule your test without losing your fee. Do not leave it until the last minute. The theory test has also been updated. There are now questions covering first aid and basic CPR. This is a genuinely important addition. Road accidents happen, and in the immediate aftermath, the actions of bystanders and other drivers can mean the difference between life and death. Knowing how to perform CPR, knowing when to call the emergency services, knowing how to help someone who is injured, these are skills that every driver should have. The theory test is now going to test you on them, so if you are preparing for your theory, make sure you include first aid in your revision. Now for the financial side of things, because 2026 brings some changes that are going to hit your wallet. The temporary 5p per litre cut on fuel duty, which was introduced as a cost of living measure, is ending in September 2026. When it ends, fuel prices will go up. If you drive a petrol or diesel vehicle, that is more money coming out of your pocket every time you fill up. For those of you who drive electric vehicles or who are thinking about making the switch, you also need to hear this. Electric vehicles are no longer exempt from road tax. From April 2025, that exemption was removed, and most electric vehicle owners are now paying an annual road tax fee of £195. Company car tax on electric vehicles, which is technically called benefit-in-kind tax, has also increased from 3% to 4%. The financial advantage of running an electric vehicle has narrowed. It is still worth running the numbers if you are considering a switch, but make sure you are factoring in these new costs when you do. Your driving licence is also going digital. The UK is in the process of rolling out digital driving licences, with a full rollout expected by 2027. Your physical card licence will still be valid during this period, but it is important that your details are kept up to date online. That means your address, your medical information, and your licence entitlements all need to be accurate in the DVLA system. If your details are out of date and you are stopped or involved in an incident, you could face fines or enforcement issues. Log in and check your details now if you have not done so recently. And finally, self-driving vehicles. This is still emerging technology, and the rules are still being written, but it is worth being aware that self-driving vehicles are beginning to appear on UK roads under the Automated and Electric Vehicles Act. As a driver, if you are using any kind of automated driving feature in your vehicle, you still carry responsibility for what happens. The systems are not foolproof. You must remain alert and ready to take control at any moment. Do not treat automation as a reason to switch off. So let us bring all of this together. In 2026, the rules of the road in the UK have shifted in a number of important ways. Junction priority has teeth. You must give way to pedestrians and cyclists, and failing to do so can have serious legal consequences. Cyclists have stronger protections, including safe overtaking distances. Your phone must never be in your hand while driving. The drink-drive limit is dropping, and zero alcohol before driving is the only safe choice. Seatbelts now carry penalty points, not just fines. Headlights and fog lights must be used correctly. Idling enforcement is increasing. Learners are taking control of their own test bookings. Theory tests now include first aid. Fuel is getting more expensive. Electric vehicles are no longer tax exempt, and your license is going digital. These are not small tweaks. These are meaningful changes that affect every journey you make. The law does not care whether you knew about them or not. Ignorance is not a defense. But you have watched this video, which means you are ahead of the majority of drivers on the road right now. That knowledge protects you. It protects your license, and it protects everyone else who shares the road with you. Stay safe out there. Drive with awareness. Respect the people around you on the road. And if this video helped you, the best thing you can do right now is share it with someone else who drives. A friend, a family member, a colleague. Because the more drivers who know about these changes, the safer our roads become for everyone. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button right now. We cover everything UK drivers need to know, from law changes to driving tips to money-saving advice, and we post regularly so you never miss an update. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the community. See you in the next video.